Hello?
Hey, Joe, it's Nancy.
Nancy? As in Drew? I thought you were in France.
I am in France.
Frank, pick up the phone down there. It's Nancy Drew calling from France. Everything okay?
Everything's great.
Hey, Nancy.
Hi, Frank. Whoa, you sound out of breath.
Not out of breath, out of shape.
Me? Hey, you're the one who's been taking a break for the last 2 hours.
Break from what?
Carrying furniture upstairs. Carpet layers are coming to redo the basement tomorrow, so we gotta get everything out. And I use the term we loosely.
Hey, I'm pacing myself here.
You're in the kitchen eating jelly donuts, aren't you?
Not anymore.
Well, I made it to Paris, okay.
Great. Exactly where are you?
Right now, I'm in the Latin Quarter.
Wait a minute. I thought you were in France, not Central America.
She's in the Latin Quarter of Paris, Joe, not Latin America.
They call it the Latin Quarter because it's where the Sorbonne University is. And until 1793, Latin was the area's official language.
Oh, what are you doing there?
I'm in the apartment Amy Grunhild arranged for me. In fact, did I tell you who my roommate is?
Is it somebody we know?
Jing Jing Ling.
Jing Jing Ling? The model? You're rooming with J.J. Ling, the famous Australian model?
Yep.
But put her on.
Joe, just calm down.
I'm calm. I'm very calm. I'm completely calm. I just want to say hi, that's all. Put her on.
I can't put her on, Joe. She's not here. Sorry.
Oh. Think maybe you could put her on later?
Maybe later, yeah.
Sweet.
I finally met Minette.
So what's she like?
Very temperamental. It's like working around dynamite. One false move and she goes off. And I mean she goes off.
Is she talented?
I guess so. She's in the process of designing a dress for the First Lady.
Of the United States? That's pretty cool.
Unless something goes wrong and Minette loses it. If that happens, it could turn into an international incident.
Minette's studio is something else.
Before you left, you mentioned it was an old windmill or something?
Right. It's in an old moulin. That's French for windmill.
Like that cabaret, the Moulin Rouge.
Exactly. And like the Moulin Rouge, Minette's windmill is in the section of Paris called Montmartre. The outer office looks like any other modern office, but Minette's studio, which is inside the moulin itself, is very old and funky.
How long has she been there?
Only about a year or so, long enough for her to throw paint all over the wall in a fit of anger.
She throws paint?
Among other things.
Yikes.
Parts of Paris are real quaint, like you can buy stuff from these vendors in the park, but if you want to get a good deal, you have to haggle with them.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds like a pain.
Oh, Frank, where's your spirit of free enterprise? What kind of stuff do they have, Nancy?
Everything imaginable. It's like a garage sale, only in a park.
I love garage sales.
I hate garage sales.
Plus, their inventory is always changing, so people keep going back to them just to see what new stuff they have.
I wish haggling was common in this country. There's nothing better than feeling like you've gotten yourself a really good deal on something.
And when somebody rips you off?
Nobody rips me off, Frank. Okay, except for that bogus concert ticket I bought from Gerald, the budding juvenile delinquent Higginbotham in junior high school. But I was young then, very young.
That's it for now.
Don't be a stranger.
Take care.
Minette's House of Design.
I need to speak to Minette.
I'm sorry, but she's unavailable.
Just get her on the phone.
I'll see what I can do. Minette, you have a phone call.
I do not want to be disturbed. Now go away.
But he's very insistent.
Go away or you're fired.
I'm sorry, she's busy. May I take a message?
I'll just send her one.
A stuffed parrot? Cool. The letters on this one look different than the letters on the others. Dieter. I wonder what he's doing. Hey, Dieter! Hi! No, wait! Dieter! Dieter! What did he run away for? That was weird. Looks like he left something on the bench. These must have fallen out of his pocket. Was that Tornade? That's the woman who that historian was calling about. Why would Dieter be carrying this around?
Bonjour. What intrigues mademoiselle this time?
Well, let's see. Is this parrot very expensive?
The price is very reasonable. 20 euro.
How about if I pay 5 euros?
Vendu. What else tickles the fancy?
I really don't want to buy anything right now.
Very well. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
Au revoir.
Bonjour. What intrigues mademoiselle this time?
Well, let's see. I really don't want to buy anything right now.
Very well. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
Au revoir. Now what?
You have to get them out of there!
Who? What happened?
This little box came from me, and when I opened it, all these bugs came pouring out. They're all over the place in there. You have to get them out before they lay eggs or something.
What exactly do you want me to do?
Just go in there and put them back in the box they came in. Carefully. Don't kill any of them. Nothing good ever comes from killing things.
Don't worry. I'll get them out of there for you.
Bless you.
Yuck! That must be the box they came in. Too slow. Dear Miss Minette, the books on the women of the French Resistance, exploits of Noisette Trenade, because she owned the windmill which you now own. This is from that historian who called before. Maybe she can help me figure out why Dita was carrying that obituary around. Oh, these guys, my gosh! The letters in these fonts look exactly like the ones that were used in one of those threatening notes Minette got, which means Heather must have sent it. Gotcha! Say goodnight, Tracy. Playtime's over, little guy. Poor girl. Here, buggy, buggy, buggy. There, that has got to be the last bug. You can open the door now, Minette.
Did you get all of the bugs?
Yes, Minette.
How many are there?
I don't know, 9?
Are they all alive?
Yes, Minette.
Are you sure you didn't kill any?
Positive.
And they're all in the box?
Yes.
Okay, listen. I want you to take that box to the park and let those things go. Only I don't want to be here when you come out. Probably the only thing those twisted little vermin are thinking about right now is revenge.
Minette, they're cockroaches.
Exactly! So I want you to count to 10, and then, and only then, are you to come out of there, all right?
Anything you say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What a nut job.
Modern European History, Lynn Manrique.
Hello, my name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Paris. Actually, I talked to you earlier when you tried to call Minette.
She's finally calling me back? Wonderful. Please, put her on.
I'd like to, but I'm afraid she's still too busy to talk to you.
Oh,
But if you don't mind, could I ask you a couple of questions about Noisette Tournade?
certainly.
How long did she live in the Moulin, where Minette now has her studio?
She lived there for 55 years, from 1949 to 2004. She sold it when she moved to Provence, which is where she passed away. She never married, you know. Very private person. She served as Paris's director of public works for more than 20 years, yet not one person has been able to tell me what her favorite color was.
What did she do during the war?
From 1942 until the liberation of Paris, Noisette worked as a translator for the Germans by day and an encoder for the French resistance by night. This, as you might imagine, made everyone suspicious of her, both French and Germans alike. And after the war, things got ugly. Especially when people found out she was romantically involved with a German soldier. His name was Hans von Schwesterkrank.
You're kidding me. What happened to him?
Hans left Paris right after the war and never returned, leaving Noisette to fend for herself. She was tried as a collaborator in 1946 and acquitted, but the experience left her quite bitter. You see, some people said that during the war she took various pieces of artwork, mostly from churches, and stashed them away somewhere so they wouldn't fall into enemy hands.
That sounds pretty heroic to me.
Well, some people said she stole them for herself. And unfortunately, the artwork remains lost to this day. No one knows exactly what Noisette took, or if indeed she took anything. In any case, Noisette was terribly hurt that the city she loved had turned on her like that. After her trial, she told the press that the truth of what she'd done during the war resided in her and in the person and place she loved the most. And that was that. She never spoke of her wartime activities again. I assume that the person she was referring to was Hans von Schwesterkrank, who passed away a year or two ago, and that the place was her beloved Moulin, which is why I'm hoping Minette will allow me to visit it. Now, I've got a question for you. In the hours before she died, Noisette was said to have constantly muttered 3 words. Red, left, green. Is there anything inside the Moulin that has to do with red, left, green? Anything at all?
No, but I'll keep that in mind and let you know if I see something.
I'd appreciate it. Any other questions?
What was the French resistance?
That was the name given to the various groups of men and women who did their best to undermine Germany's military occupation of France during World War II. Some would engage in strikes and sabotage, while others would collect and pass intelligence along to the Allies. Needless to say, their operations were highly covert and very dangerous.
What else can you tell me about the German occupation of Paris?
The German army entered Paris on June 14th, 1940, and after France formally surrendered on June 22nd, the Germans controlled the city. They took whatever they wanted, food, supplies, houses, artwork, and dictated how Parisians were to live their lives. Naturally, their presence was deeply resented. Some people ignored the situation as best they could. Some collaborated with the Germans, while others, like those in the resistance, fought back until the city was finally liberated on August 25th, 1944.
What's the story behind the Cross of Lorraine?
The vertical bar crossed by 2 horizontal bars is an emblem that was first used by Joan of Arc, as well as the Dukes of Lorraine in the 15th century. But during and after World War II, it became a symbol of the French resistance. Nowadays, it's not unusual to see it on statues or monuments commemorating the period in French history from 1940 to 1945.
After the war, when she was the director of public works, what kind of things did Noisette do?
She oversaw many of the services which the citizens of Paris enjoyed every day. Streets, bridges, parks, their maintenance all came under Noisette's purview. She particularly enjoyed putting various forms of art on permanent display in various public places, especially parks.
What did you mean when you said Noisette was tried as a collaborator?
Collaborators were French citizens who not only failed to resist the occupation, but actually helped the Germans keep it going. Because Noisette had worked for the Germans as a translator and had a German boyfriend, after the war, many of her countrymen automatically accused her of collaboration. When it was revealed that she had been a member of the resistance, instead of exonerating her, that just made some people think she'd been spying for the Germans too. As I said before, it was an ugly time, one which poor Noisette spent the rest of her life trying to forget.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
It was nothing. Goodbye.
Sounds like someone's in the dark room. Mr. von Schwesterkrank? Are you in there?
Who's there?
Nancy Drew. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
I'm very busy. You'll have to come back.
I just wondered what you were doing in Square du Vert Galant Park.
I was just taking a walk.
You dropped an obituary about Noisette Tornade. Shall I leave it for you?
There's no need. I don't want it.
Why were you carrying it around?
Because I was going to send it to my grandmother. I thought she knew the woman. Turns out she didn't.
You also dropped some kind of trinket. Looks like a miniature clock.
That's something my great-uncle Hans gave me. It's actually a key. It opens the panel over there to the right of the bookshelf. He lived here during the war. The place has been in the family ever since.
What's behind the panel?
Go ahead and see for yourself. Just be prepared to go a little cuckoo.
What's up with this? Mr. von Schwesterkrank? Believe it or not, that key your uncle gave you opened up some kind of passageway. Is it okay if I see where it goes?
A passageway? He never said anything about a passageway. Go ahead and explore it all you want. Just be careful. This building is very old.